everyone, Miss GoElectric here. Now, I have ridden over 100 different e-bikes of all different varieties, and now I'm moving into a different territory. The first reason why I got into e-biking was because my partner would mountain bike every single day, and I just couldn't keep up, and I really wanted to be able to ride alongside him, but not have to strain myself in the learning process of getting up to speed. So I ended up buying a mid-drive fat tire e-bike so that I could keep up, and that is a really fun bike to ride around, but it is not nearly as nimble as an electric mountain bike. Now, the problem with most electric mountain bikes is that they're really expensive. They're maybe like 10 grand, and it's a specific use case. So for me, it was kind of hard to justify spending that amount of money for just that activity. So Aventon came out with this Ramblas electric mountain bike, and it has credible mountain bike components, and it's at a more affordable price point. Now let's take a look at the finer details of the specifications, take it for a ride, and then I'll share my final thoughts about this Aventon Ramblas. The Aventon Ramblas is a Class 1 electric mountain bike, which means the motor can offer pedal assistance at speeds up to 20 miles per hour. Many Aventon e-bikes allow riders to unlock the bike to higher speeds, but on this bike, 20 miles per hour is a hard limit, making it legal on most bike trails nationwide. Aventon uses their own A100 36-volt, 250-watt continuous mid-drive motor, which can deliver peak power of 750 watts, equivalent to 1 horsepower. It can output up to 100 Newton meters of torque and smoothly matches rider inputs, which are detected by a torque sensor. The motor is IP67 rated for water resistance. The 36-volt battery uses LG cells and has a capacity of 19.2 amp hours. That is equivalent to 708 watt hours. I didn't see a UL 2271 certification for fire safety. The battery locks to the frame and is easily removable for charging on or off the bike. The Ramblas comes with a 4 amp charger, which should deliver a full charge from empty between 4 to 5 hours. Aventon advertises a maximum range of 80 miles on pedal assistance in eco mode, and an average of 45 miles in the highest pedal assist called turbo mode. Its aluminum step-over frame comes in 2 color options, called Aurora, the limited edition I'm riding here, and Borealis. There are 4 frame sizes accommodating riders between 5'1" and 6'5". The bike is IPX4 rated for water resistance and is UL 2849 certified. The bike weighs 54 pounds for the large frame seen here, and it can support a total maximum payload of 300 pounds. These are SRAM DB8 mineral 4-piston hydraulic disc brakes paired with a 200mm front rotor and 180mm rear rotor. The shifter and derailleur are 12-speed SRAM NX Eagle. The front fork coil suspension is a RockShox 35 Silver R with 130mm of travel with a rebound adjustment. The tires for the medium to extra large frames are 29-inch Maxxis Recons at 2.4 inches wide. The small frame has 27-inch Recons. The Ramblas comes with a standard 150mm dropper post for the medium to extra large frames and 125mm for the small frame. The saddle is equipped with a helpful handle on the underside. The color display is the smallest I've seen on an Aventon, but it still has a USB-A port to charge your phone using the bike's power. Aventon's app will pair with the Ramblas, allowing owners to record rides, perform over-the-air firmware updates, engage with the community of Aventon owners, and fine-tune power settings. The integrated headlight and dual tail lights are standard. The Ramblas comes with a kickstand which can be optionally installed. The frame includes a water bottle boss as well. Ramblas owners get Aventon's comprehensive 2-year warranty and the benefits of one of the largest dealer networks of any direct-to-consumer e-bike brand. They claim 1,800 locations at the time of publishing. Your local Aventon retailer can make test drives possible and improve the service experience. We were able to unbox and build the Ramblas in under 30 minutes, but the retail stores can do that work if you prefer not to. Now I'm really intrigued because those specs are amazing for the price point, so let's get to riding. All right, before we get out on the trail, I just want to see how this feels riding around without any kind of an assist or anything like that.
I do like the shifter, how easy it is to just push forward on that forward lever to shift up and then push down on the one that is closer to my body to be able to shift down. Smooth shifting out of the box, and seems really easy to be able to pedal, even just going up that tiny hill if I don't have any assist on, so pretty happy about that. Let's move up into the different riding modes. There we go. Got that eco mode, which there are 3 different pedal assist levels here. You can hear that motor. It's actually a little noisier than I thought it would be. We'll see how that changes once I get on the trail and maybe move up to those higher levels of assist. And I know sometimes they can be a little noisier when you first get a mid-drive motor because that lubrication needs to coat all the gears inside it to quiet it down a little bit as you go, as you ride. Now, I'm already sensing on this flat pavement that in eco mode, it's a very, very mild amount of power out of the box. But that's one thing that I think is just so wonderful about what they've done with this bike is in the app, you can customize each one of these pedal assist modes and tweak it to your liking. So if I wanted more acceleration in that first mode, to change the characteristics, I can make those really easily right in the app. Move up into that. Oh yeah, turbo mode definitely gives you that burst of power. And this is a torque sensor. It's really smooth when it gives you the power. You also have to be mindful of when you are shifting into a new gear when you have a mid-drive like this, because you don't want to apply power when you're shifting because you could snap the chain. And that's one advantage of a mid-drive, is that you have an incredible amount of torque. Oh yeah, turboing right up that hill, super easy. That is very smooth. I like how the screen is different colored because it really catches my eye to see what pedal assist mode I'm in, and the miles per hour is nice and big. Now, what's not very big is the state of charge. I wish it was a little bit bigger. And then there's also, can't even read it there, trip odometer, I believe it is, that is even smaller. But let's duck into the trail and see how it rides in its natural habitat. Oh yeah, that suspension up front is doing a lot of work, and it feels awesome. It's really smoothing everything out. Now you want to be careful, you don't want to ride through some of these trails too quick on this turbo mode, but it's taking these roots very nicely, even though this is a hardtail. Oh my gosh, this is so much fun. Brakes are very performant. They do a really great job. I will say, a really high quality hydraulics. The right side is a little bit more flex in it than I'm used to. The hydraulics, I'm used to having a lot of power right away, but you can probably see my hand goes back a little bit further than it does on the left side. And one advantage to that is that you can kind of keep your hand on that brake and keep it closer to you and not have to worry about stretching your fingers as far to pull the lever. Ooh, a little off-road action there. Ooh, this is spicy. I realize it's only a 20 mile per hour top speed, but I think that's plenty when you're on the trails. I'm gonna bump it down actually because I want to see how it feels on that eco mode. Typically with electric mountain bikes that I've experienced, those first modes will be enough power for me to get through with just a little bit of help going uphill. I actually really like the saddle too because it's just wide enough for my bottom, but when I go downhill, it's suitable for me to get over that rear wheel when I'm trying to balance that weight. Oh, look, a turkey. A couple turkeys. Hi, turkey, sorry. Whoa, a little bit more assist, please. Perfect. Turbo, help me get out of that. I'd be really excited to see it if Aventon comes out with a full suspension version of this bike. Although I do think that the hardtail is performing rather well considering. Woo, this is a blast. The grips are pretty good. Typically when I'm mountain biking, I like to wear these gloves because I want to have the extra support and comfort, especially if there's, wow, hot day and I'm sweating. But did you see how it took that hill? No problem. This torque sensor in the motor is just so smooth with its power delivery. This is so much fun. And the thing is I'm still getting a good workout. That's a big misconception with electric mountain bikes, is that you're not putting effort in at all, but in this case there's no throttle. And the turbo mode gives good power, but you still gotta put the work in. And you're still standing up off your seat, so you get that workout in the legs. Let's see. Incredible, wow. It took that like a champ. All right, let's try out our seat post. Woo. I'm booking it. It does take a lot of force to be able to get that dropper seat post down. So hopefully that will kind of loosen up a little bit more as I use it more. But better to be high tension at the beginning. Oh my gosh, this thing eats hills up, no problem. There we go. Woo! Wow, this bike is incredible. It's so much fun. And if you want to stop and have a little breather, maybe some water. Unfortunately, my partner has to lay his bike down on the ground because he doesn't have a kickstand, but this one, it does have a kickstand, which is really nice. This is awesome. So my partner has a $5,000 electric mountain bike, and it's really good quality, and that actually has the same brand names for its componentry, and it's almost double the price. So you know that Aventon's really utilizing some great components, even if they aren't the highest end of those brands. These brands are really high quality. And you can tell when you ride it because it feels nice. Tight squeeze. Another nice thing about this is that it has a headlamp and tail lights which just makes for awesome visibility. And maybe you don't ride at night, but it's good to have in the woods like this. We kind of have shaded conditions. Here we go. Ah! All right, let's head back and I'll share my final thoughts about the Aventon Ramblas. So I spent a lot of time on the Aventon Ramblas yesterday, so much so that I was so tired and extremely sweaty after riding all day. It was actually even getting dark by the time I was done because I didn't want to stop riding. And that is really a testament to electric mountain bikes, because a lot of people think that you don't get the workout that you would expect, but I actually could go a lot further and a lot longer on this bike, which was really fun. Now I've had a good night's sleep and I'm ready to talk about the things that I think Aventon can improve for the Ramblas and the things that I thought this bike did really well. And to start off, Producer Tim was hounding me to come up with 4 or 5 things that were improvements that I would like to see. And I tried my hardest and sat here for about 45 minutes looking at every element of the bike to try to think up some things. And I can only come up with a couple. So the main improvement that I would like to see has to be the noise that comes out of that mid-drive motor. Now, I have a lot of mid-drive motor bikes and they're all rather noisy in comparison to a rear hub drive, but take a listen to this one. Now I understand that all mountain bikes make a freewheel noise, but I like it to be as quiet as possible, not only because I'm in nature and want to enjoy the quietude, but also because when I'm passing other riders, I don't even want them to detect that this is an electric bike, and the noise with this is very obvious that it is. The next improvement, it has to be the weight. Now this is 54 pounds, so it's a little heavier, and a lot of that is because it is an aluminum frame instead of a carbon fiber frame, which is what you see in a lot of higher end electric mountain bikes. Now, the aluminum is a positive though, because as you can see, I have crashed and it doesn't crack or have the potential to crack the frame like it does with a carbon fiber bike. But you do have to note that the weight is going to be a contributing factor, especially when you want to lift it up into the back of your car or anything like that, or when you're taking it off jumps. One other improvement opportunity that some people might point out is that this isn't an all-purpose type of bike. It is really designed to be strictly a mountain bike, and there are some competitors on the marketplace that do a little bit of everything, so you could use it as your commuter as well as go on the trails, but this is strictly for the trails. And because it was made for mountain biking, it does everything on trail better. It does not have a throttle, so it's a class 1 e-bike, which makes it compliant on any kind of trail, and it also forces the rider to be more sustainable in their practices instead of tearing up the trail. The next thing is that it has a mid-drive motor that is centrally located. That weight is positioned down low and in the center to keep good balance, and also it has a dropper seat post, so you can really go up and down the mountain efficiently and effectively. The torque, balance, and efficiency of the Ramblas' mid-drive motor cannot be matched by any competitor that has a rear hub motor. Now, on some of my other mountain bikes that I have, the dropper seat post is a little easier for me to push it down and push it back up when I'm riding. This one is quite stiff, so hopefully as I continue to ride, it will loosen up a little bit, but it would be nice if I didn't have to put so much pressure on that button in order to get the seat post to drop down. And now I'm going to ramble off all the positive and strengths of the Aventon Ramblas that I have found while I've been riding it. And first off has to be the componentry. I'm really impressed with the brand names that they have. What I liked about this shifter in particular is that it was really smooth right out of the box. I didn't have to make any kind of adjustments. Now the hydraulic brakes are also really powerful. I did notice that on the right side, felt like maybe there's a little bit of air in there, but they performed absolutely amazing. And then the rock shocks up front were silent and they have a lot of travel, so I could really feel them smoothing out the bumps. Now the seat was fairly comfortable for a mountain bike, and I like the fact that it has this handle on the back so it's easy to move it around. It also has really great performance tires. I felt like I could get around corners really nice and I could go over any kind of terrain. And also the fact that this has an integrated headlight and tail lights back here for great visibility on trail. I was riding around on this all day for hours and hours, and I only used about 5% battery, so this is going to last you all day. Not only that, but if you do ride it around all day and expend your battery, it comes with a 4-amp charger, so it'll take you an hour or two to recharge it, which is really nice. Aventon has one of the best apps on the market, and they've made it even better with the Ramblas here because now you can even change each parameter in the pedal assist modes along with other settings right in the app, making it really convenient. And I like how they paired it with this smaller screen because if you're riding around on a mountain bike and you crash, you don't want to have the opportunity to break a big screen that's sitting on the handlebars and chunky. So I really like how they've integrated this and it still has good visibility. Now, if you need or want a bigger screen, you can use your app to be able to display it as a bike computer right on your handlebars, but just know you're taking the risk that if you fall, you might break that too. You might think I'm a little late to the party reviewing this bike, and when it first came out, at the beginning of the year, it came out in a color called Borealis, which is this really pretty green. But once I saw the limited edition Aurora color, which is this color here, I knew that I had to review this one because it really caught my eye. I have seen a lot of electric mountain bikes, and most of them tend to have more of a masculine design or finish to them. And so the reason why this caught my eye so much was I felt like it was more appealing to a wider audience, like people like me who want to still be able to ride a mountain bike, but then have the style to go along with it. The other thing about this is that I really appreciate that Aventon has created a smaller graphic for its text and instead of having it cover the whole down tube. So from an aesthetic standpoint, I think Aventon has nailed it, and I am really proud to be riding around on this bike. As far as my final thoughts go, I know that this bike is 2 or 3 times more expensive than a good all-purpose bike, but this is designed to be an electric mountain bike, and it does that beautifully. And maybe you would consider this competes with the Treks and Specialized of the world, but I think that this is an even better option than that because you have the user-friendly capability of the technology that's included with the app as well, and you still have a wide dealer network to be able to get service whenever you need to. And all that for half the price of a Trek or a Specialized e-bike. Well, thank you so much for watching this latest video. I hope it was helpful for you. If you want to see more information about the Aventon Ramblas, I'll put a link in the description below. Well, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, drive, fly, ride. Go electric.